to libraries in 7 counties through restricted funds. Welcome to Tuesday Topics, one of FFRPL's legacy programs. Today's talk will be the last one for our 2026 series. We ask that you please silence your cell phones at this time. Our thanks go to those who help fund programs like these through FFRPL, the dedicated FFRPL committee members who curate and organize these events, our guest speakers who so graciously share their time and talents with us, the library staff who help with our setup and production, and the thousands of people who attend each year in person and online. We are live streaming the formal portion of today's program to the library's YouTube channel. If you missed either one of the first 2 Tuesday topics, you can find the link to the archive video under the Live tab. We also post the links on our website, ffrpl.org. If you are looking to access the induction loop service in this auditorium, please adjust your hearing aid to the T switch. Our 3 Tuesday talks this year focus on the library's role in the community, past, present, and future. Today, BJ Scanlon will give a talk on the Maplewood branch's expansion and renovation, as well as the library's new Northeast branch, slated to open in 2027. BJ Scanlon is RPL's Deputy Director for Community Libraries. His team in branch administration oversees 10 city branch libraries, or maybe it's 11. That's what we're here today to learn about. Thanks in part to the generous support of FFRPL donors, the Maplewood Branch Library will have new supplemental furniture, fixtures, and equipment in a completely renovated and expanded building. As of today, the temporary Maplewood Community Library at 414 Lexington Avenue is closed to the public as staff prepare for its relocation to the newly renovated and expanded facility at 1111 Dewey Avenue. The library branch will reopen to patrons and resume operations in March. The redesigned and renovated space at Maplewood will have 2,666 additional square feet with natural light throughout, a secure outdoor play area, a new parking lot, separate spaces for classes and tutoring, and a new community meeting room, as well as updated restrooms. Please join me in welcoming BJ Scanlon to our podium.
Thank you, Susan, and thanks everyone for attending. I'm excited to talk a little bit about our expanded branches. So a lot of folks, when they think of RPL, they often think of their own home branch. And so what we're going to do is talk a little bit about 2 very specific ones, the Maplewood branch and a to-be-named to-come Northeast branch. So what we're going to do is run through some of the history of the project for Maplewood, get to where we are today, and look toward the future. And I just want to introduce myself, BJ Scanlon. I'm new to the RPL team as of March of last year, so I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary. Prior to that, I have a pretty extensive history of working in local government, working for both the City Council office and in County Executive Adam Bellows' office, where I was the liaison to the library system for the county in that role. So we're going to get started and talk a little bit about Maplewood. What we'll do first is we'll go over all of the libraries in our system, give a sense of where they're located, and then we'll look through the Maplewood Community Library, looking at the plan for it, which came from our facilities master plan, the timeline for where we are to completion, some future goals, and a look at some of FFRPL's generosity. News at 11. I thought that was fun. We're going to look at some gaps in service for the Rochester Library System, or the Rochester Public Library, and we're going to examine the RHA Fernwood project, taking a closer look at what some renderings are for a potential Northeast branch. So let's start with a general overview of our libraries. So we have the sort of our city council map of where the different council districts are, northeast, east, south, and northwest. And as we look through the locations of the library, we have Shalott, which is located up in the northwest, Maplewood, which is in the northwest, Lisle in the northwest. The South District has Arnett, Wheatley, and Douglas. Then you'll also see the East District with Monroe, Winton, and Sully right on the border there. And in the northeast, we only have the Lincoln branch of which is on the border of the Northeast and East District as well. So as we start looking at Maplewood Community Library, this is a project that has been years in the making, and it's looking at expanding the footprint and the size of the branch and allowing us to do additional programming inside. So this started with a facilities master plan, which, as you can see, is from 2018. And what that did is it took all of the branches at the time and looked at their operations and looked at their facilities and made recommendations on how they can better serve the community. And each branch had different recommendations. The Maplewood Community Branch was listed in the Tier 1, which was the most important or the highest need tiers for the facilities master plan. What you're looking at here is the original exterior to the 1111, or I guess 1111 Dewey Avenue is probably the easiest way to say that, location. And so when we look at that, we had this report which asked us, we wanted to find out some quick wins, which were low cost and immediate, some small moves, things that could take place in 1 to 3 years and maybe cost between $10,000 and $500,000, and then the larger moves, which is one of the things we have just undertaken, which are more than 3 years out and with a price tag of over $500,000. So when we're looking at this, Maplewood placed in the Tier 1, as I said, and the number one patron request was they wanted more community outreach. The Maplewood Branch Library has our highest population of new Americans, refugee population, and there's a lot of programming that goes to support that population. And the biggest complaint for the branch was that it felt small and crowded. Well, Maplewood itself was our third smallest library. We found that it was getting some of the highest traffic and highest foot traffic. So with the amount of young people coming in, with the amount of people regularly entering the library, we were seeing that folks were feeling like they were on top of each other, as one of the patron quotes said right there. So when we're looking at Maplewood, they came up with 4 possibilities to move forward in the future. The first one was to acquire property and expand. So the only way to make Maplewood larger would be to have purchased some of the local properties around it and use those to demolish and expand the footprint of the branch. The second option that was offered was to lease out the current building and relocate to a larger building. The third option to explore was to renovate the building and expand off-site. So this would have created a satellite location for the Maplewood branch. And finally, the other option was to lease out a portion of the building and have Maplewood utilize some sort of mobile library services. So when all of these were evaluated, this was a bit before I had started, but I think the idea of having a auxiliary or offshoot site would have been really difficult to manage, and it probably would have impacted hours. We did, in fact, choose to utilize a mobile library vehicle, just not at this site. Right now it's currently working with the Lyle branch to help expand services into the Northwest, and we look forward to seeing what else RPL Go might do in the future. But as we were weighing in, a decision was made, a choice was made to look at acquiring 308 and 310 Augustine Street, and you can see on our timeline around 2021-2022, those properties were acquired and the design phase and public feedback began. So what happened is we were able to purchase, with the support of Assemblymember Clark, the properties at 308 and 310 Augustine, and that was made through a DASNY SAM grant. So Assemblymember Clark helped us to get that, which allowed us to add on the 2,666 square feet in expansion, bringing the Maplewood footprint up to 9,688 square feet, or one of the larger branches in the RPL system now. Also, it improved our parking lot. So we now will have 11 much more functional spaces, and in addition to